If you are able, would you please rise as we perform for you our national anthem.
The Exeter Brass Band is a tradition that dates back to 1847.
The word tradition. 30 years ago, you could go 4 and 5 nights a week around southern New Hampshire and play in a different town band every night. And a lot of those have gone away now, but Exeter keeps going.
It's just 5 Monday nights. You see old friends. We get great audiences here in Exeter, big audiences that really participate and enjoy it, and it's a little slice of Americana.
It's just a wonderful thing, and grown-ups play with kids, and really old geezers play with, you know, younger people, and we play a lot of traditional music. You won't hear it anywhere else, I guarantee.
It takes your breath away, you know, it really does.
At the Exeter Historical Society, the history of the band is on display this summer. Everything from old instruments and music to vintage uniforms are part of the collection.
We have nominal bragging rights that the Exeter Brass Band is the oldest continuously performing band in the country. I do not know if that is true. Okay, that's what we've been told over the years. It's organized in 1847 under the name the Piscataqua Band. And they performed that way until the 1860s when they changed their name to the Exeter Cornet Band. They performed under the name of the Exeter Cornet Band until the 1890s, and then they officially changed the name to the Exeter Brass Band, and that's what they've been ever since. The band has changed a little bit. In composition, its members used to be sort of working men who would learn an instrument from scratch. But it did provide entertainment to the public, especially during a time period when there's no recorded music. You know, if you wanted to hear music, you had to have somebody in the family who played the piano, perhaps. So having a live band, no matter how good or bad they were, was going to be a big thing.
Over the years, the talent has improved, and many that sign up to play never leave.
We were in high school, and I grew up in Exeter, so I used to come down when I was a kid and sit down and on my bicycle and watch the band concerts. And then as I learned how to play the trumpet, I said, geez, this would be nice if I could someday play in that band.
Ken Dewsome has now been playing trumpet in the band for 51 years.
It's been really nice just to come here, and over the years, just, you know, part of the Americana, and just seeing the years just add up. And when I first got in the band, we were here like 127 years, and now we're up to 177 years. And I'm realizing that I've been here almost a third of the seasons. It's kind of amazing.
People I play with keep me here every year. So I always say, it's a life contract. Maybe I won't be here for life, but it feels like a life contract when summer comes around again and we get back on the phone and say, hey, you're going to be there? Yes.
This is my 50th year of being in the band. So I played for about, I can't remember now, 45 years, and then they asked me to become the director.
Michelle Belanger is in charge of putting together the programs for the evenings and includes everything from contemporary show tunes to old marches.
I have a list. We have about 83 right now, selections, and I try to add a few every year, you know, and I just go through every week and say, oh, let's play this, 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 and this.
With only 2 rehearsals for the whole year, mastering the music is no easy task.
We have some really good professional musicians. I am not a professional musician, but nobody ever makes me feel like, oh, you know, you're not as good as the rest of us. We're all having fun, and we're all playing for the crowd, and the crowd always appreciates when we play, and that's, I think, the most important thing, is that the people who come to hear us love what we do.
So the past 5 years have been even better. Back in the old days, people would back their cars up and then honk their horns, and they'd put the tops down, and they'd flash their lights when they liked the songs. And when they didn't, it'd just be really quiet. But now we have fantastic crowds. We draw up to a couple hundred people per night, for all ages. And one of the neatest things is just the fact that, you know, I went to high school with people, or my kids are in school with them, or they were with my grandparents' age, and we're all together enjoying picturesque downtown Exeter on a bandstand that was built for this band.
The band these days is in good hands, with crowds lining the streets, old friends reuniting, and a bond over music and a town tradition that can't be broken.
As long as I can breathe, I'll be here. Everybody knows that's where Ken's going to be in July. So.
And I'm sure you probably have people that kind of like look and say, hey, wow, he's still in the band? I'm still in the band.
You know, I don't want to sound trite, but it's like a slice of Norman Rockwell. It really is really one of the things that's good about America.